I've been wanting to do a Frejlord Shadow Owls deck, but not with all the champs they have. They have, what, 4 champs? So they only have one of most of them. One of them they got like 2, probably like Braum. They probably got 2 of those. Here's our harsh winds that we wanted. We're going to throw it back in. Make a copy. We're going to throw that back in. As much as I would like it. That would have been good with that, but what we have right here is pretty good. And that even works out even better. So let's pass. They got 1. Oh, interesting. Ho ho, we got our win condition, Scar Mother Verena. So it makes sense, right? Okay.
Oh, I can't wait.
Alright, well, let's... We're going to kill it to do 2 here.
I won't fail.
Alright. I wouldn't block. That doesn't make sense for me to block. Just so that you know. Ooh. We're gonna pass. See what they do.
Oh, hello there.
Nice. Alright. We're gonna do 1 there. Okay. We're gonna probably bank this. This 1 mana, we're gonna bank it. Or save it for this.
Is that all?
Alright, we're good. Actually, we should have probably saved that for Scar Mother. Ah, it's one of these decks. Gotcha. Alright. Slow match. They got a wall that we're going to have to get past. A giant wall. Oh my gosh, the crackling. Alright, let's see what happens.
The Star Maidens will know my name.
Alright. Huh. Makes sense. What we want to do? We won't block
Let's see
there.
what you can do.
We're going to have to take the 6. I hate taking the 6, but we're going to. Let's see what they do. They got a lot of mana left over still. Gonna suck the 4. Okay, of course he comes down. Alright, we'll be back. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to pass. And save this in case that they want to try to destroy my creature, which they don't. Alright. Nice.
I'll try anyone once.
And we'll cast her out. And then we'll attack. And we got multiple things we can do. In case. Oh, cool. So they didn't do any. So Let's not get too greedy, right? Just in case. Let's not get
I love a
too
taste of the
greedy.
action.
Let's do 2 damage.
Lift with your back, not wait.
Of course you had a combat trick. You're going to do that to game 4. So, I understand why you're doing that, but it's kind of silly. This only costs 1, which is just disgusting.
Worthy of the Windsor's Claw!
That's fine. I think we throw her out.
Try to understand. I matter, you don't.
Let us get
Braum.
going.
Braum is a good choice. Yeah, 6 mana. Do we put out Verena when they have the ability to destroy my creature? They can't do it now, but at 7 they can. Does it make sense to put in Verena now? I don't think so, right? Right? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think what we do now is we kill Braum. We get rid of Braum.
I'll prove myself to the War Mother.
Alright.
The Star Maidens will know my name.
That way they don't die.
Please.
Come here, darling.
And we'll cast one of these here. It doesn't die. They still got 6 mana. Their deck is very cool because everything's low cost, but they only have 3 cards in their hand.
Look what
And the
you
problem is we can't play Verena because they have the ability to kill all of our creatures. So I gotta play cautious. They can have a 9-cost spell which eliminates all creatures, and then we're screwed. Their creature will come back because it keeps coming back no matter what. I would love to play this, but I can't.
My turn.
So this is 7, 9, 13. We might be able to win. We're off by 1. Oh man, this feels so bad. I want to do this so badly. 7, 9. Damn, we're off by 1. And if he has the 7 mana, we're gone. Please not be the 7 mana. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. That's dumb. So that was very dumb what he just did. So that's 2, 4, 8. Yeah, I think they're done. Actually, no. Unfortunately, they don't survive, so we don't get the 8. Still off by 1. Oh, you lucky bastard. We're not going to play just yet. Oh, beautiful. Game. That's game. Haha, you thought you got me. But I got you. Boom. I knew they had Ruination. I knew they had that 9 cost destroy. That's why I didn't put out my 6 drop. My god, dude. Okay, Saturn. You got 5 out of the 6. My goodness. What is this deck? Okay. Wow. So I'm guessing they got 1 of each, right? Of course. Of course. Probably should have got rid of some of my cards. Okay, that's fine.
Let me show you what I can do.
What you got?
My turn.
You don't want to block that. Unless you got a combat trick, you don't want to block that. Good job. Beautiful. Beautiful. So you're going to play a creature, of course. And I'm going to play a creature. Just like you did.
Come here, handsome.
Hello, dear. What have you got us into now?
Hello, dear. What have you got us into now? Yep, and I knew you were going to do that. We don't have enough for that. But we do have this. So that gives us a card. Dude, I love this group because they're like the Hellfire Club of Blood. Vampire Hellfire Club. I guess that would be Celine's Hellfire Club. I guess you could say. Cool, I'll take that.
Delicious.
We're going to attack. We're not going to do anything as of yet. There's no need for us to. If anything, we could bank this 3.
It's too late for
I knew they were going to do that route. Do we go for another one? Sure, we should. Why not? I'm sure they have something. And of course, they have Ionia to bounce it back to my hand, or were they dependent on a deny? I think they were banking on a deny. Yeah, I think they have a deny. Cool. We get another curator in their hand. The question is, do I want to?
Step lightly.
So we could do two. We could get another card. We go to 5 and we have nothing. No counters, nothing that we can play. As opposed to me banking. I don't want to use her. Question is, do I want to put her out? That gives us 4 damage a turn with Vlad.
Come, Clara, we have much to teach you.
I can't wait.
That'll work. The attack for 2.
Strength and grace, beauty in the blade.
That's beautiful. They have 3. They can't Ione us. They can only counter. So what we'll do is we'll take the 4. We'll
You
put
must be
Vlad
Lord
out.
Vladimir.
You must be suffer.
I love the dialogue. You must be Lord Vladimir, and you must be Supper. Oh, the dialogue's too good. So, we're gonna play Vlad now, right? They have 1. I don't see much of anything they could do. They could go up to 18, which we're okay with. Yeah, they did a banging job with this game. Really, really good job with this game. So, we'll put Vlad last so that he ults. So what we're going to do is we're going to put all these up now.
I love a taste of the action.
Vlad will ultimate and go up to 6. Unless they could kill our characters.
Like my blade.
That's fine. I'm okay with losing this guy right now. I have another one in hand. I don't care about losing him. So are they willing to take... Whew, it's going to be 4, 9. Yeah, they kind of have to. Right? They kind of have to. We could do this, but I'm okay with taking this. So we're going to take 8. And then it's going to be 10. So they're going to go back to 10. What do we want to do? We could save him. I think I'm cool with that. We'll save him.
There's fashionably late, and then there's...
We'll do that, right? We'll save him. We get a card. Nice.
Kneel before me.
Oh, this hurts.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Even with that, we're in good shape. We're in very good shape. So, because right now we're at 6, so I could do both of these and kill this guy next turn, right? Okay, I can. So what we're going to do is, for right now, we're not going to add anything. I could boost her up, right? We only take 2. Now we need the 3. We need the 3. So we're going to let it go. I was wondering if I should play this card. We're going to kill this person next turn, and then we're going to kill them.
Hey, Krabby.
Ooh. 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 Greedy. Greedy. Okay.
You'll live, probably.
Now they have a deny, so I can't kill this guy without using their deny. But I could try. I could get it out of her hand. That's the best thing I could do. I know they have it. I know they have it. That's why they keep banking 3. Ooh. But we could force them to deny this. I don't know if they have 2. What are you giving him, elusive? That's perfectly okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. We'll pass. It would be nice if we could get another one of these.
Strike for the balance.
They have a deny. We're going to try for it, right? That's the best thing we could do. We know they have it. Let's go for it. I know they have it. Let's just try, right? They're going to use it to block that. They're going to. Oh, no, they don't have it. Wow, I was wrong. Oh, yeah, dude. That's match. Yeah, that's match. I thought you had it.
Who would dance with me? I won't wait forever.
That should be match. So this is 2, 4, 6 damage.
Oh, please.
Actually, no, it's not. They can still live. Actually, no, unless they can stop one of these guys. No, because he's going to die. Why are you blocking there?
Hold up.
That's a bad block. Well, it doesn't matter. They both die. Both of these guys die, so it don't matter.
Is that all?
But my friend,
Embrace.
Already dead. Nice. Slightly different. I love this card. I kind of don't want to put it down the bottom, but we're going to. That's good for Zed. I mean, I'm fine with it, but I would rather have a card. Alright. So is that any card? Pick a card. Yeah. Show 4 copies of it. So yes, any card. That is nuts. We'll take this 3, unfortunately. We hate to see that happen, but it happens.
Braum is on the job.
The dark
I'm okay with that.
My shield is my sword. This is fun, yes?
Alright, 5 more to go.
See?
We don't want to see another Vlad, but we got it.
It works.
I'm okay with that. Who do I want to give? Who do I want to give? If I play him, he just doesn't... Actually, you know what? He doesn't do anything for me now. But if I take it,
Left for a snack?
he'll do something for me when I play Vlad next turn. So we could...
It packs a punch.
I will play my part.
That's fine. We go down to 13, right? I think we're good with that, right? I think we're good. So, what do you have? I play Vlad, they put Vlad in my back of my hand. That's the most they could do. Sure, why not?
I've dressed for the occasion.
We're good with that. He put it back in my hand. Nice. That's doing 6 damage.
Strength. There's fashionably late, and then there's this.
First we fight.
And...
Show me your best.
there we go. One, two. He's 1 off from upgrading. Opponents deciding whether or not they should attack Vlad. But if they don't, they go back to 13.
Hold still.
I'm okay with that. He dies. He gives me something back. I'm okay with that. Or I do that and he just dies. Yeah, he just dies. Wipe as much of his board as I can. Yep. Nice.
Lord and master.
Yep. And he should regenerate back.
How marvelous.
Yep. Nice. Beautiful. That works perfectly with him. That's a cool looking fat guy. Yeah, he's pretty awesome. He's pretty awesome. Let's see. So So typically, usually in these occasions, I have something where I could play it. I could play this on him, which will give me another card. I kind of don't want to, but I get a free card out of it if I do. So I'm going to do that. Keep him going. They're going to attack all my characters. I get another one of him, which is good. So I'm going to put that right there.
Carry change.
And I'm going to bank the rest.
Night.
Which is fine. Oh, okay. You want to do that? I have no time. I have no problem blocking her. She doesn't do anything for me. So making that trade doesn't bother me any. But I can now start to kill your people slowly. So let's see what we could do. Oh, we got another fat man. But there's no... Ooh. So, where are you at? You got Easy, you got Jinx, you got Zed, right? You do the 7/7... It's best right just to do the damage, right? So I think that's what we're going to do. We're just going to do the damage for right now. I wanted to get her out to put an extra 2. But right now we're looking pretty good.
This is a no-fly zone.
You better have something or else you're giving me another card. There we go. I knew you had to have something. Ionia, you putting the card back in my hand? So what are you going to do? Counter this with deny and then put him back in my hand? Let's see. See if I know, if I can read what my opponent's doing. Oh no, he's going to Shadow Step. Interesting. Interesting. So 2, he dies. So we lose Braum. There's nothing I can really do. Wait. We call an ally to summon a living shadow, right? But if I do this to this ally, you don't recall them. They die. But then you deny it, right? No. So Braum levels up. Takes no damage. We suck life. You create a Poro, and we do 6 damage, and you're down to 2. And now you're dead. Good game.
Let's take this puppy for a spin.
You're dead.
Let me show you what I can do.
Blood isn't a toy, dear.
And you die. Good game.
Be grateful I even noticed.
Is that all?
Well, hello YouTube, this is Khan here, back again with some more Legends of Runeterra. And this is going to be at the end of the video. This is going to be the tech deck for my Vlad, what I call blood control deck. And this is like version 2. I know most of my videos I usually say these are all work in progress, which they are. This is version 2, and I'll explain real quickly what's in the deck and what's the purposes and some of the matchup issues that, you know, we seem to have a problem with. I think, at first I used to think draw was the main issue, but it is and it isn't for this deck. There's ways to draw cards, but not draw cards. You're basically creating specific cards, and that allows us, and you do that with the Crimson Curator. These are 3-drop. Anytime you survive damage, she creates another Crimson card. It could be any of the Crimson cards. We have all of them in our deck, pretty much. It could be any of those. He creates them, and it works out so well in terms of refilling your hand and giving you something to work with. So I know you look at it and you say, he only has 2 defense, Con. This guy can't last. But that's why Noxus works very well with Frejlord, because Frejlord has a lot of spells that you could use to help keep your characters alive. Like for instance, Elixir Iron gives 2 for that round, so you can do damage, give him 2, do damage to him. He'll survive, bearing that there's no combat tricks on the opponent's side, and then you could do it again. And he's basically at full health. He could take damage, he could block, and you could trigger his effect twice, depending on the situation. And then also we have another card with a little bit higher. It's at 4. It's called Bloodsworn Pledge, which allows us to give +3 permanently to 2 of our allies. And then the last card that we use is a 3-drop. It's called Grant. It's basically called Take Heart. It basically anything that's damaged, you give it 3/3. And now there are some spells you can use to also give them a little bit of defense. One is Vlad's card, basically his spell card, which is Transfusion. You have to deal 1 to another ally, so it requires you to have at least 2 characters on the battlefield. But then you could also give a creature ally 2/2 this round. Keep in mind it's only for the round, it's not permanent. But yeah, so we went with Frejlord and Noxus because that seems to be the way that the developers wanted this tag team to be. We have Vlad, who's in Noxus, and even though the deck revolves around him, he's not our finishing point for this deck, which is very interesting, right? So basically what Vlad does is he basically damages all your creatures for 1. All the creatures that are attacking, right? He deals 1 to them, and then he also deals 1 to the enemy Nexus. You're like, well, why would I want to do that? That doesn't seem like much of anything. Well, okay, he levels up. What does he give me? He gets regeneration, and now he's a 6/6. Vlad's stats are okay, right? What Vlad's able to do is okay, right? When you look at his ability, as stated before, is Transfusion. The only difference is, of course, with all abilities, you shuffle your champion back in your deck once you use it. And then also he gets access to Crimson Pact. Whenever you have an attacking ally other than Vladimir, deal 1 to it and 1 to the enemy Nexus. This is just basically his ability that we see right here. So once we have Vlad, the next thing we want to do, he's not the finishing point of this deck. What we have outside of Vlad is that our main finisher in this deck is going to be Scar Mother Verena, right? She's the one, and we only have 1 copy of this card. There's probably reasons to put in maybe 2 for this, but really we only use her at the very end, and there are only a few decks that really deal with her directly, right? So we'll go into the matchups more, and we'll talk about what those decks are. So the reason why she's our ending deck is because she has Overwhelm, right? She takes damage, she gets +3, like a lot of our other cards, but she has Overwhelm. So even while she's just stacking a lot of that attack, they try to chump block, you're still getting damage put in. So she's a very good card. And the reason why also we only have 1 of them is because we also run the card Blood for Bones, right? Blood for Blood, I apologize, not Blood for Bones, which is a 3-drop card, and it allows us to deal 1 to them and make a copy in our hand. So with this card, we run 2 of them. We basically get 2 Verenas, 2 more of them with this card. Beautiful, beautiful card. So let's go over the rest of the deck real quick. We have Brittle Steel, frostbites anybody who has a health of 3 or less. Very good card, don't need to really explain it. It's burst, pretty much almost all of the cards coming out of Frejlord are burst. Works out very well. Next we have is Elixir Iron, as stated before. We just put this to give 2 in the back to help our people live and also help them proc their different abilities of if I survive damage. Right now we have 2 of Unscarred Reaver. This card is most likely going to get kicked out. I don't see a real benefit of this just yet. I do have it in there. Yes, it benefits from the 1 damage, gets 3 to the front. But it's like a really, really, really weaker version of Scar Mother. And I believe there's a 3-drop version that does this with more in the back. I think it starts at 04. That does just as good, but I'm just not a fan of this. It's good for a blocker on the first turn. We only have 2 of it, but I'm probably looking in ways of probably replacing this card later on. Next we have is Crimson Aristocrat. Before we used to run 2 of these. We only run 1 of them. We really only need 1 of them. The main purpose of this card really is to help out Braum. I mean, that's the best benefit. She comes in and she damages Braum for 1. Braum gets 2 attack. He permanently has regeneration always, so no matter what, he can at least do some damage while tanking. The next card we have is 3 of Crimson Disciple. Fantastic card. Anytime it takes damage and survives, it does 2 to the Nexus. This is the one card you're going to use to put out a lot of damage, basically, to the Nexus before you bring out your big guys. You don't even have to attack, and a lot of times you just have to use different effects that take 1 damage to her, and then you can use that ability to attack their Nexus. It's a fantastic card, and I'm sure as you've seen in some of the matches beforehand, depending on when you clicked on this video, if you went straight to the deck tech or not, we use this came in handy. I'll put it like that. Next we have is Death Lotus, which seems like a bad card, but mainly uses for spiders, but then also allows us to put out 1 damage to everybody who's either attacking or blocking. Sometimes you'll kill creatures, but that's not the point of it. It's the use of it is basically to proc all of our when I survive tactics on a mass level to all of our creatures. You got Vlad, who's going to proc it once he does his ability, and then you have Death Lotus that comes in now proc it a second time, bearing that they actually survive. We already went over Transfusion and Blood for Bone. Braum, great card. He could take damage, he regenerates, and he has Challenger. Nothing more that I need to say. I fight with the idea of whether or not we should put 3 Braums, but I think right now 2 is good enough. We went over Crimson Curator, so the next card we have is Calling Strike. Basically, this is what we're going to use as our main point of removal. It kills anything with a power 3 or less. When you use it with Brittle Steel, you can also take down a lot of big creatures with low backs down to 0 attack, and then this will allow you to get rid of those creatures. We also have another card that allows Frostbite to 2, and then of course you can use Calling Strike right behind it to remove those threats. But the main point of using Calling Strike is to remove a lot of the champion threats like Zed and Katarina, and Elise. That's the main reasons I usually pack Calling Strike, is just to get rid of them. For those ones that you don't have the cards to take care of, Noxus and Guillotine works. It's a fast card. It allows us to kill anybody who's been damaged, and the benefit of it is if we use it, we get a fleeting version that allows us to use it the same turn. Fleeting, for those who don't know, means that you get a copy of it, but it has to be used that turn, well, that round basically. And at the end of the round, when you both pass and it goes to the next round, the card basically kills itself. It dissolves away. So you have up until the end of that round to actually use it. We went over Take Heart. Beautiful card. Gives +3/+3. We run 3 copies of this. Since a lot of our cards are taking damage and this is burst spells, this allows us to keep our characters alive while also boosting them. It's also a good card if we're attacking and the character's open to put in some extra damage. Avalanche is another card I fight with. I don't know if we need 2. Part of me says maybe we should have 2. Part of me says nah, we really don't. So I usually want 1 Avalanche. 1, it procs a lot of our abilities, and 2, it works as a nice board clear, especially for elusive decks, which most of them have like 2 in the back. Beautiful card for wiping out the boards for those. We went over Bloodsworn Pledge already. Crimson Awakener, our 4-drop. Solid stats. It's a 5/5, and it does 1 to all other allies, which of course works with all of the if I survive damage effects. In fact, in one of the games, I think you'll see how this card works wonders. Trefarian Assessor. I haven't been able to get this card to work just the way I want it to. Keep in mind, most of our creatures are below 5 outside of Crimson Awakener and Vlad, right? So this is like one of those late games. We're at 10 mana. I need to be able to find something or search something. Let me play this at the end of their turn, draw some cards because everybody's built up type of deal, right? So it's not a lot of cases for us, but I felt like we needed to draw, and I didn't want to use Avarosan's what's it called? Avarosan's that 2-drop. Avarosan's Sentry. Avarosan's Sentry. I didn't want to use that. We had it before. We have too many 2-drops. Kind of just muddled out the deck, so we put in one of Trefarian's. I don't know if it's needed just yet, but you know, we'll do a couple more matches, and we'll, once we decide on the final build list, whether or not we want to keep that. Vlad, we already went over. And then last but not least, Harsh Winds, beautiful card. We only had one of them. I put in 2. Yes, it has a high cost of 6, but it's beautiful. It helps you stop the Dariuses. It helps you stop the Tryndamirs. Basically, a lot of those big creatures. The one elusive dragon that's like 6/7 or 7/6. Basically, it gives you one more turn, right? And then also with, as I stated, the calling, it allows you to eliminate a creature. So this is our current deck as of right now. As stated before, it's still a work in progress. We're making changes on the fly. In terms of matchups, I think we're pretty good in most matchups. The decks that we usually struggle against sometimes could be elusive, and the main reason why we struggle against elusive is because they have the ability with Ionia to set back. What's that for a card? Is it Branch of Ionia? Let's take a look at that card real quick. It is... Is it Will of Ionia? I think it's called Will of Ionia. But they have that spell, Will of Ionia. There it is. Which allows them to put a card back. And that sucks. It's not so much is the denies in this game. Deny doesn't really affect our deck that much, right? Most of our spells come from the Frejlord, so they're burst. They work wonders, right? The only time you're going to run into issues is like with Noxian Guillotine or Calling Strike, the ones that are not Frejlord, right? That's when you're going to run into the problems of, oh my, should I be worried about, you know, deny? But Will Ionia is the main card that gives us a problem. And there's nothing that we could really do against, you know, say that deck, against that card. So that's the thing where we got to play around, and it's a little bit more difficult. And the other one, of course, is the one that a lot of decks have problems with, and that's Shadow Owls. And the main reason why Shadow Owls is so difficult is because Shadow Owls has so many ways of removing your cards. And unfortunately, because we don't run Ionia and we don't have Deny, we have no way of stopping it, right? So anytime in Shadow Owls they want to run Ruination, we gotta be smart not to commit too many characters on the board, as you saw in one of my games. Ruination will destroy us, right? We have Commander Ledros, who unfortunately is broken no matter what deck you play against. Big problem. We have Vengeance. They target one of our characters, Vlad, Braum, anybody who's doing damage. Heck, even our Scar Mother Verena. There's nothing we can do about that, right? We have no way of stopping it. So these are the things that we have to really, really worry about. Same thing with Rasa. Basically, Shadow Owls has so many ways of removing cards, and it's something that you're gonna have to deal with. We have to be smart with how we play our cards and how we pilot the deck, because we could still put out damage, right? There's a lot of ways we could put out damage. Crimson Disciple puts out plenty of damage, and if you're making copies of Crimson Disciple and you have multiple copies out, and for instance you get a 4-drop pledge, and you put that out, and it just gives you so many more turns where you can just keep doing direct damage, and you're doing four turn basically directly to the enemy nexuses. That's basically 5 turns, right? You could put out a lot of damage, right? A lot of damage. So you don't have to directly attack. You could just block for the most part. Choose, you know, when you want to use Frostbite, when you want to block, and so forth. but there's a lot of ways this deck works. I think those two regions are the ones that are going to give you the most problems. We played against Demacia, didn't have really too many issues with Demacia. I know Demacia and Ionia with the barriers could be a problem sometimes, but there's ways around that, right? But this is a pretty fun deck. I've always, as you've seen in the channel before, we made a Vlad deck before, which was Vlad and Shadow Owls. I like this one. And I was thinking about trying maybe Vlad with Demacia. Sounds weird, but mainly because Demacia has a lot of tough creatures, which would negate his 1 damage. So you could do 1 damage to them. It doesn't do anything. And you still get the procs from it. He still gets all the abilities. So it's like basically he's attacking, you're always doing 1 extra damage to the Nexus, and they're not taking any real damage for it, right? But you don't get any benefits from the if I survive, right? Because most of those are coming out of Noxus. Oh my god. Am I even saying it right? I keep saying it, and I know most people are like, Noxus, there we go. Most people are probably like, dude, it's Noxus, did you read it? I'm sorry. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the vid. This is the end of the deck tech. Try new things. Sometimes I put them in the beginning, sometimes I put them at the end. Let me know, comment below what you think of the deck, what you think it needs. If you tried it, let me know what your results are. Just tell me, thumbs up, thumbs down, what you think about it. And for all those who stopped by, thank you very much. And remember, stay safe, keep gaming. This is Khan signing off. Peace.